is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the next year of 2023, customized to your Lagna or to your rising sign. So now friends, to begin with, like I have divided this video in two parts. In the first part, I will give you an insight the way slow moving planets and other planetary alignments is going to be influencing all of us on a global level. And then in the second section, we will try to get into the customized areas of your life, like your finances, your job, relationship, all sort of wish fulfillment, how the planetary vibration is going to be influencing you guys next year. And friends, if you have not watched my video for the numerology based calculation, it's my earnest request for you guys to watch that video as well, because from the numerology as well, via calculating the universal year vibration and your customized personal year vibration, you also get to know the theme for the next year customized to your life. So okay friends, before we will start our discussion, I just wanted to wish all of you guys a very happy new year. My earnest wishes that all of your wishes shall come true this year. All of the hard work which you have been putting in, you should get the result of all of your hard work, and this year should open the doors of prosperity, gains, all sort of benevolence in your life. So now friends, like just because I have already uploaded a video as per the numerology calculation, so we have to understand summarized synopsis from the numerology as well before we will dive into the astrology. So definitely friends, next year the energy is going to be of the number 7. If you are going to be making a sum total of 2023, it is going to give you the resulting number as 7, which is a number governed by or ruled by Ketu. So one thing is for sure, if you are going to be putting a lot of dedication, a meticulous approach and attitude towards work, if this is going to be your ethics, your work style in all areas of your life, definitely not only you will attain perfection, but also you will get all sort of due recognition for your hard work as well. Second thing is that friends, on a global level, definitely we cannot overlook this fact that next year in all those communities and countries where they are already going through the concerns of the religious persecution, religious intolerance, so that is going to be all-time high. Now this is one indication which is not only getting validated from the numerology but also from the astrology as well. Now friends, when we talk about in the areas of scientific discovery, innovation, space exploration, regarding that front, next year is creating a very positive energy. And lastly, definitely these days we all are diverging into the cryptocurrencies, all sort of parallel mode of payments and banking. So regarding that front as well, next year is creating a very positive energy. Now friends, shifting our discussion to the astrology. So picking the planet Saturn first and studying the contribution of Saturn throughout the next year. So friends, Saturn is going to be transiting in its Mool Trikona sign of Aquarius on January 17th. So now this is going to be a formal full-time entry of Saturn in this own sign of its. Now just because Saturn briefly transited the Aquarius sign during this year as well, it gave us this insight or a sneak peek, a kind of a trailer that what exactly Saturn has in its mind for us. But now once Saturn is going to enter Aquarius sign formally, all of those results will start getting manifested. Now you can also understand it in this way, that whatsoever hard work you have been putting in from the past 2.5 years, the result of all of your those hard work will start reaping results. Second thing is that friends, because within each zodiac sign there is the energy of 3 different nakshatras. So Satbhisha is going to be the forefront of manifesting the results of the Saturnian energy. Now it becomes very important to understand the innate qualities of the Satbhisha nakshatra. Now friends, as you know that Satbhisha constitutes of more stars than any other nakshatra. So that means that Sadbisha has got a lot of intellectual potential. Sadbisha has got a lot of healing potential. Sadbisha has also got a lot of spiritual potential as well. But like the way many like astrology researchers have come to this conclusion, that when we talk about the mental turmoil or mental anguish and fighting the inner demons, these are the areas where you have to control yourself. So now friends, definitely it all comes down to in which dignity this Sadbisha influence or Sadbisha energy is influencing you. Now let's say for example, if your moon nakshatra is Sadbisha, or your Lagan nakshatra is Sadbisha, or your 10th house lord is sitting in the Sadbisha, then definitely you will perceive or you will experience the Saturnian restraining influence to its intense way. And also friends, if your profession, your life hovers around the signification of the Sadbisha, where we talk about the engineering or technical pursuit, anything to do with the pharmaceutical industry, medicine industry, and these days, just because I keep on coming across these consultation queries that I want to make a foray into the herbs, into Ayurveda business, healing business. So definitely regarding all that front, this transit or this stay of Saturn in the Sadbisha will definitely kind of benefit you. Now friends, the innate quality or the essence of the Sadbisha is about secrecy and it's about scientific pursuit. So let's say for example, if you are a researcher in any field and you have devoted your heart and soul into your craft, so then during this year, this can actually give you some sort of discovery in your craft, in your given field as well. Because at the end of the day, the combined universal year energy as per numerology is of Ketu, which is also promising the similar thing. So very good year for people engaged in the healing business, medicine industry, pharmaceutical, technology, artificial intelligence. All those people will definitely get benefited. Now friends, one thing which I want to say over here is that because even my own moon nakshatra is Sadbisha. With Sadbisha, there has always been one thing which is always advised, that how you handle secrets, like it becomes very important for you. Like there has been all those cases where someone who got access to something which was hidden from the world, which become a reason for the success of that specific person. And in certain cases, just because a secret of this top politician got leaked out in the media, and which became a reason for the fall of that person. So how you manage the secrets and how much attention you give towards the spiritual religious austerities will be at its forefront when Saturn is going to be transiting in the Sadbisha nakshatra. And friends, it becomes very important for all those people like in whose case there has always been a temptation towards the intoxicants, drugs and all sort of hallucinations causing substance. You have to stay disciplined because Saturn's transit in the Aquarius and within Aquarius in the Sadbisha can create some trouble regarding the willpower and resistance in these areas. Now friends, because Saturn is going to be turning retrograde as well, so like from June 17 till November 4th, Saturn is going to be in a retrograde motion. So Saturn will start its retrograde journey from the Sadbisha's second pada and will end at the Dhanishta's fourth pada. So these are the time period when the restraining energy of the Saturn is going to be at its peak. Like Sadbisha might be carrying all the good qualities within itself, but when we talk about the mental anguish, so over there Saturn can cause lot of concerns, grave concerns. And also friends, because like the way whenever a planet is retrograde, it gives rise to its cheshta bal. So that is also going to be a time period where if you are abiding by a spiritually oriented, disciplined lifestyle, some breakthrough can also be made. Now friends, now shifting our discussion to understanding the behavior of the planet Jupiter. So guys, Jupiter will formally enter the sign of Aries on April 17th. Now friends, from Jupiter's perspective, which represents wisdom, fortune, good luck, so Jupiter's entry in the sign of its very good friend Mars can be seen as a very good sign, because all the Jupiterian wisdom will get the theme and platform of the fierce qualities of the planet Mars of Aries to manifest the results. But during this year, the vulnerability is that once Jupiter is going to enter the sign of Aries, it is going to come in the influence of the Rahu. So now friends, this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter is going to have a pros and cons attached to it. So the benefit side of this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter is that during this year, a lot many people will transition to different religion. People will transition from one faith to another faith, from one belief to another belief. Technology will play a very pivotal role in the transmission of the spiritual knowledge and wisdom. And also friends, regarding people taking interest and the acceptability of the alternative financial mediums like cryptocurrencies and all of that will also go all-time high during next year. And also friends, regarding the matters of the foreign travels or import export, regarding that front as well, the next year is creating a very positive energy. Now friends, when we talk about the vulnerable side of this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter, so now friends, definitely you will get attracted towards the foreign religion or different guru and teachers and mentors. Now on a financial plane, for the material plane, there couldn't be any better influence of Rahu on Jupiter. But when we talk about the spiritual aspect, when we talk about the true transcendental knowledge, wisdom, and specifically attracting all those guides and mentors who have got good interest in their heart for your well-being, for your growth, so all those areas are definitely going to be in the scrutiny. And guys, also because I mentioned this thing that the next year the universal energy is of 7 is of Ketu. So because all of this influence of Rahu and Jupiter is taking place in the Aries sign, so a lot of intolerance and contrasting opinion towards each other's belief and faith will get experienced, will come to everyone's notice next year. And also friends, like many times what has also been seen that because it's the energy of the number 7, so it will also unravel lot many secrets as well. That too, all those kind of persecution which has been done in the name of religion, which has been hidden from the people's or the public's eye, will also come to everyone's attention, everyone's notice. And lastly friends, if you want to understand the contribution of Rahu and Ketu next year, so friends, next year on October 30th, Rahu and Ketu are going to be changing their axis, changing their signs. So Rahu will make an entry in the Pisces sign being ruled by the planet Jupiter, and Ketu will enter the Virgo sign being ruled by the planet Mercury. So now friends, if you remember at the time when I uploaded a video on Rahu and Ketu's transit to the ongoing Aries and Libra, I mentioned this thing that although lot many astrologers are not in this favor that it is going to be manifesting good results, but I foresee that transit or this ongoing transit as still beneficial. But now friends, Rahu's transit in the Pisces and Ketu's transit in the Virgo is going to be very sensitive, very volatile, with extremities in store for everyone. Now it all comes down to individual to individual. The dignity and role of Rahu and Ketu, nodes in your life, how they have manifested results so far in your life, their dignity. Are you also going through the dasha of either of the nodes? Is your profession straight away come in the purview of any of the nodes? Then it can get determined that in which direction they are going to be manifesting results. Because friends, definitely Rahu's influence on Pisces. Now Pisces is a very transcendental energy, and as you know that Rahu's influence on someone's emotional mental state, like Rahu's straight impact or influence on someone's natal moon, can make you very confused, can make you very delusional, can make you very obsessive. Like Rahu is the chief significator of all sort of psychological problems which are these days found in the society. And definitely Pisces energy can give rise to all these kind of confusion and delusion to its peak. And also friends, when we talk about Ketu's influence on the Virgo, so as you know that Ketu is a very spiritual planet, and Virgo is all about discipline, it's all about the material duties and responsibilities. So Ketu in the Virgo can also cause problem in the form of getting into like a sudden job change, transition in your portfolio, or people getting into unusual vocation, making some wrong choices at their professional front, giving rise to strong enmity, giving you powerful enemies. Now this could be real or imagined, but this could give rise to all these kind of circumstances as well. So now friends, the thin layer lies on your religious faith and how much spiritually oriented you are, because we cannot even overlook this fact that the overlap between the Ketu and Virgo is of the perfection. And when we talk about the mutual overlap of the qualities of the Rahu and the Pisces, so definitely friends, because Pisces has got a very transcendental vibration, and Rahu can actually make you completely submerge in any of the field where you are currently engaged in, like all these people who are in the foreign trade, cannabis business, or art and craft like filmmaking, photography and research exploration of any kind. So completely getting submerged in your craft can also be foreseen with this influence of Rahu in the Pisces. Friends, we only talk about the material side of the Rahu. Like definitely Rahu cannot make you very religious, that is for sure. But when we talk about the spiritual prospect, so you cannot even overlook this fact that out of all these three nakshatras of the Rahu, it's the Sadbisha which is considered as the epitome of spirituality. So definitely friends, it all comes down to the choices you make, the kind of role notes are playing in your life, and basis that you can determine that what kind of results from October 30th Rahu and Ketu are going to be manifesting in your life. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this general universal trend and the behavior and movement of the slow moving planets next year. There are also certain signs which are going to be heavily getting influenced next year because of the movement of the planets, like for example Aries, where Jupiter and Rahu are going to be transiting, and Aries is also going to be receiving the third aspect from the planet Saturn. Then comes the axis of the Leo and the Aquarius, because friends, on Aquarius Saturn is going to be transiting, and Leo is a sign which is receiving aspect both from the transiting Jupiter and the Saturn, and Scorpio as well, because Scorpio is going to be receiving the 10th aspect of the planet Saturn. So okay friends, now we will shift our discussion to your customized Lagna, and we will try to understand the way next year is going to be turning out for you. So friends, we will first start with the kind of spiritual message which I have received from the major arcana tarot cards as a part of this year's theme for you guys. So friends, I have received the major arcana card of the Fool as a part of your yearly theme. Now guys, this card has got a very deeper connotation attached to it. This is a card which tells about venturing out into unknown, taking risk, trying new things, exploring something new. But just because with this card, the kind of guidance which you will be receiving in this year will become all time important. But definitely this card and this spiritual encrypted message has got lot of childlike innocence attached to it, and lot of travels and exploration. A good year filled with lot many experiences. Guys, I have two other like a deck as well. So when I look at the kind of like which god will be acting as a guardian angel this year for you, so pertaining to that energy, I received the card of the Natraj, Lord Shiva in the Natraj form. And the kind of blessings which are attached with this card are: first is of the fearlessness, second is of the joy of creativity, third is of the perfection in the arts of music and dance, and last, finding pleasure in all circumstances of life. And the third deck I have is of the Bhagavad Gita as well. So from over there I received this blessing in the form of the super soul. So the shloka says Vedascha sarve rahameva vedyo vedant krat ved videv chaham. So which means I reside in every heart, from me alone come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. I'm the be known by all the Vedas. I am the author of the Vedanta, and I alone know the Vedas. So okay friends, let's just start our discussion from the perspective of astrology. So first we will try to look at the snapshot of this year, the way the slow moving planets are going to be influencing you. So as you can see that Jupiter is going to be transiting in your 8th house, and it is going to be getting conjunct with Rahu in the month of April. Now friends, I want to be very honest over here. This is a kind of a typical combination which otherwise could lead towards underhanded activities. That is the only reason I mentioned this thing. The kind of guidance and mentorship you will be receiving this year, that will become all time important. And let's say for example, along with this, if even in your dasha cycle, if someone with a Virgo Lagna is going to be running the dasha of the Rahu next year, dasha of Jupiter or even Mars next year, then you have to remain very cautious, very careful. Because guys, for the Virgo Lagna, 8th house sign, like definitely Mars is not a very auspicious planet for you, but it has got a positive aspect attached to it as well. Like all those people who are interested in alternative form of therapy, or who are always in this quest for exploring new things, trying out new things, any of the concerns of immigration connected with the scientific pursuit, in all those areas, this combination can act as a blessing in disguise. But a lot many times it has been seen people who have a track record of tax evasion, money laundering. This is a kind of a typical combination which can lead towards that. Now that does not mean it is going to be getting qualified in everyone's case, but yes, the influence of Rahu in the 8th house on the transiting Jupiter could be a matter of concern. Now guys, when we look at your 6th house, so from Saturn's perspective, Saturn's transit in the 6th house is a time of working very hard and establishing your niche. Now understand this thing, Saturn is a very auspicious planet for your Lagna. So I would say that this is going to be a year which will give you a right set of platform. Now guys, here we are talking about the 6th house, but it's not the Capricorn energy or any other earthly energy in this house basis your Lagna, because Saturn's transit in the Aquarius has got more to do with giving you the result of all of your hard work. So I would say that if you are a kind of person who worship his work, you have got a very serviceful attitude and approach while performing your duties, so then in this transit of Saturn in your 6th house, it can actually bestow some power or recognition to a lot many Virgo Lagna people. Now guys, if you want to understand from the perspective of Rahu and Ketu, so definitely Rahu is going to be transiting in your 8th house, which is a matter of concern. The kind of people you associate, your eating habit, all of that has to be taken into consideration, because guys, we cannot overlook this fact that Rahu might tempt you towards the shortcuts, but it's the Ketu on the far end which is transiting in your 2nd house. And trust me, if Ketu energy is not working in a dignified way, Ketu, its transit in the 2nd house can make you inclined towards spirituality, can give you some siddhi, mantra siddhi, vak siddhi, power in your speech, but in terms of the financial crisis, transformation and losses, Ketu's transit in the 2nd house is always a matter of concern and worry. But again guys, I would say that if like in your natal chart, Venus is well placed, you are running through some supporting dasha, and you have got a very charitable nature as well, then this axis in the transit can be utilized in your favor as well. Because guys, I'm very much sure by the time you will receive this video, a lot many eclipse season is going to be taking place in your 2nd house and 8th house axis, which can be seen as transformation and revelation in the areas of 8th house which is connected with secrets which could be revealed, and 2nd house which is of your finances, which can also experience some severe transformation. But now guys, on October 30th, when Rahu and Ketu are going to be changing the signs, so Rahu is going to be entering your 7th house and Ketu will enter your first house. So I'm very much sure that after October 30, this axis will give you lot of spiritual inclination and lot of exploration in the matters of like 7th house, because when we talk about our dealings with the public, that we generally see from the 7th house. And also for professional or commercial or business success, Rahu's influence in the 7th house is generally considered as good. So yes guys, this is what the snapshot of next year for your Lagna is. Now we will switch our discussion to the different aspect of your life via understanding what is going to be happening in specific houses of your chart. Now guys, looking at the matters of your second house. So now as you can see that your second house lord is the planet Venus. Now Venus becomes a very auspicious planet for you because it has got the rulership of your second house, of your finances, and the house of your luck, your fortune. So definitely guys, Venus is going to be transiting in a good houses, like even right from the starting of the year, because Venus will start with its transit in your 5th house, which is a very good sign for good return on investments. Then Venus will enter your 6th house. It is going to get conjunct with Saturn over there. Then it is going to get exalted in your 7th house. So guys, pertaining to the matters of your finances, although I want to give a disclaimer over here that till the time Ketu is transiting from your 2nd house, you have to keep on honoring the energy of that transiting planet, that whatsoever your earnings are, a small portion of your earning has to go towards some religious and spiritual causes, like supporting any temple, any church. All of that becomes very important because you do not want to get into the way of the energies of the Ketu, because otherwise it can cause some serious concerns in the matters of your income, in the matters of your earning. Now guys, when I say from Ketu's perspective, see, doing charity and supporting like some philanthropic causes, that could be the domain of Saturn. Ketu's domain is typically very spiritual, it's very religious. So definitely guys, just barring the 2 months, like the month of August and September, when your second house lord is going to be retrograde in the axis of like in your 11th house and 12th house. So those could be the 2 months when you have to remain very cautious, very careful. The kind of other people's influence is affecting you because Venus retrograde in the 11th house could give you some old connection, but many times till the time Rahu and Jupiter are transiting in your 8th house, the influence on you this year will become all time very important. It will be in the scrutiny. So these are the 2 months when pertaining to the matters of your 2nd house. These months could turn out to be expensive, could be with some reflective decisions like confusion, going back and forth while taking any important financial decision. But barring these 2 months, I would say overall energy of this year seems to be very favorable in the matters of your finances, and also because during this year your mool mantra has to be that you have to work very hard, because ultimately Saturn is transiting in your 6th house and Saturn is not going to be bestowing any good rewards, any good results till the time you are not working hard or you are not in that competitive mode. So these are the few things which I want to highlight as a matter of your 2nd house. Good year pertaining to the matters of the financial success. August, September, you have to remain careful, and a small portion of your income has to go in charity or supporting some religious institutions. Now friends, talking from the perspective of your 3rd house, so definitely Mars has got the rulership of your 3rd house. It has also got the rulership of your 8th house as well. Now Mars is not a very auspicious planet for you guys, and this year specifically we have to follow the transit of Mars, because Rahu and Jupiter, like the planet which gives us prosperity, blessing, family bliss, so that planet is going to be transiting in the 8th house in the influence of Rahu, but the final say is always of the lord of that house, which is planet Mars. So now guys, this year Mars will start its journey from your 9th house, because it is going to be spending a lot of time in the 9th house in the Taurus, and then it will end the year being transiting or coming back to its own house, which is the 3rd house. So this is a axis which has a lot to do with luck supporting us, our professional endeavors, support from the friends, our confidence, our self projection in the society. So Mars is not making a very vulnerable journey in the transit this year for sure. That's one saving grace for you. Second thing is that guys, in your 3rd house, Saturn is also going to be giving its 10th aspect to your 3rd house as well, which can be seen as a very good sign. Like I always say this thing, Saturn has got 3rd aspect and 10th aspect, but 10th aspect is the result giving aspect of the planet Saturn. So I want to be very honest over here, I am not seeing you guys going overboard in your initiatives. Rahu and Jupiter influence in the 8th house can actually make some back and forth or some delays, some frustration, unusual circumstances while taking initiative, but at the end you will sail through for sure. And the projection of this year is very simple. So like the kind of work you will put in, the better result you will be able to generate, because guys, a lot of the initiatives we see from the 3rd house, our influence, our support. And one more thing I want to be very clear over here, I have been saying this thing repeatedly in this whole video, customized to your Lagna, that what kind of people are guiding you, are mentoring you, the kind of influence of other people in your life this year has to be monitored very carefully. So guys, pertaining to the support from the friends, like if I were to be very honest, pertaining to the living signification of the 3rd house, from where we see your neighbors, your friends, your siblings, that influence, the living signification of the 3rd house is going to be under scrutiny. But when we talk about the non-living signification or like intangible aspect of the 3rd house, from where we see our courage, our valor, our initiatives, our efforts, regarding that front, I'm seeing you putting forth your best efforts, and with how much loyalty or integrity you will be putting forth efforts, in the same measure Saturn will give you result of all of your hard work. This is something which I can say confidently pertaining to the matters of your 3rd house. So this could be a very good year, because guys, your 3rd house lord is going to be transiting some good houses, and Mars has got the rulership of your 8th house as well. So in all those profession, like where you are working in sales, media, marketing, you are a freelance person, you are a self-employed person, where you do not work on a fixed paycheck, like 1 month could be very good for you, very bright for you, and then some other couple of months could be very low for you, or you are a performing artist. So for people in these kind of flexible kind of nature of work, in their case some sudden windfall of gain, some big project can materialize. Now a lot will be dependent on your yoga in your chart, in your the kind of dashas you are currently going through, but basis the influence of transit, or it is making you very much eligible for these kind of big windfall projects or gains falling in your lap during this year. Now guys, talking about the matters of your 4th house. So now guys, I want to be very honest over here. Your 4th house and 7th house lord is going to be transiting in the 8th house after April, and it is going to be in the influence of Rahu as well. So let's say for example, if you want to relocate to a foreign land, this can be seen as a very good energy. Second thing is that for any of the concerns of inner emotional peace, I would say that this year can actually drive you towards, or it can actually make you vulnerable towards taking some wrong decision. Because guys, try to understand this thing. When we talk about the visible houses and the benefic planets, so the kind of satisfaction they give, it has got more to do with the doing some righteous action, righteous deeds, supporting some good causes, and this is how we get that satisfaction. But the influence of Rahu, 8th house, has got more to do with the very, okay, sadistic is not the right word to use, but all those things are which are very questionable in nature, questionable in society. Now this could be in certain traditional community, consumption of drugs, or like some sort of unethical association. This could be in opposite sex, this could be within the same sex. So it's like the inner peace this year is coming in the scrutiny because of the whole kind of turmoil going in the matters of your 8th house. So over there you have to remain cautious, careful. So guys, overall, if I were to say pertaining to the matters of your 4th house during this year, so before April 21st, investing in any of the real estate related matters can prove to be very safe, secure and beneficial for you. But after April 21st, once your 4th house lord is going to be transiting in the 8th house, you have to remain very cautious that you should not get associated with a disputed property related deal, and any of the matters of the inner emotional peace and contentment needs to be monitored very carefully. Your moral compass has to be very high, otherwise any kind of casual approach and attitude over there can actually take you towards some unethical acts or unethical association. The fear or vulnerability of that is going to be very high for the next year. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 5th house. So now guys, I want to be very honest over here. Now the good part in your case is that, because see, no matter whether Saturn is the auspicious planet for you or not, Saturn's presence in a house actually brings a lot of inertia, lot of pressure in the matters or attributes of that house. Second thing is that, because as you can see that even from the 5th house, Saturn gives straight aspect like in your Lagna to the Cancer sign. So definitely a lot of emotional pressure, answerability on the account of friends, and lot of turmoil which you might be going through. But now, just because Saturn has now in the month of January, once Saturn will leave your 5th house, you will definitely find a relief in the matters of your 5th house. And the good thing is that guys, like I would say that whatsoever investments you have planned or investments you have made in the past 2.5 years, when Saturn was transiting in your 5th house, the result of that can actually come to you during this year with the entry of Saturn in your 6th house. So definitely guys, I want to be very honest over here. 5th house has got everything to do with our mental aptitude, with our thought process. So if your thoughts have been very righteous, you have worked with a complete diligence and with that humanitarian spirit to help people around you as well, so the result of that will definitely manifest this year. So all those people who are coming straight in the purview of the 5th house, like whether you are working in the education business, you are in any way connected with the art, entertainment, media, so all those people can definitely get benefited. And I would say all those like people who have to write any competitive exam, appear in any competitive exam next year are definitely gonna do something good, or unless and until you are not going through the Rahu Dasha or Mars or Jupiter Dasha, which can create some unpredictability or distraction. So if you are not in that malefic influence next year as per your Dasha cycle, and basis looking at the influence of the transiting planets, and if you have to write any important competitive exam, any important business restructuring regarding that front, next year is creating a very positive energy for a lot many Virgo Lagna people. Now guys, looking at the prospects of your 7th house. So your 7th house Lord planet Jupiter is going to be transiting in the 8th house and it's going to be coming in the influence of Rahu. So definitely guys, in the matters of the matrimonial alliances, you have to remain very cautious, very careful. After April 21st, when Jupiter is going to be in the influence of Rahu in the 8th house, so the kind of proposals which are coming to you, like is there something hidden which the family of your prospective partner is not revealing to you, or suddenly within the matrimonial life your partner has started acting very weird, he's acting very mysterious or hiding some things from you within the relationship. So all of that needs to be taken into consideration. Second thing is that guys, see, 7th house is a prime house of our commercial actions, of our public image. So next year, see, I want to be very honest over here. Like if in your business there is a lot of underhanded activities and non-ethical decisions, then you can do good. Or let's say for example, you are a kind of celebrity who thrives, who flourishes on creating scandals, then you can actually do very good next year. But if you are a kind of person who is maintaining a very unblemished kind of public image and you want to conduct your business with complete integrity, then next year you have to remain very careful, very cautious, because of your 7th house Lord's transit in the 8th house. I want to be very honest guys regarding this front, because I somehow gets very biased the moment I pick out the card from the tarot. I've got very strong faith in my tarot cards. So I would say that just because the energy of your this year came out to be of the Fool card, so I'm not seeing you guys very vulnerable. It's just like that, remain open and welcoming towards some new experiences, and just protect yourself from any toxic malefic influence. And if you are a kind of person who want to explore, who want to grow, who want to become something bigger compared to your existing self, then this year can give you many opportunities. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 8th house, now definitely in your 8th house the planetary concentration has become very vulnerable over here. But now guys, the saving grace is that just because Saturn is going to be giving its 3rd aspect to your 8th house as well, so I'm not seeing you guys going overboard in your actions, in your initiatives, or going very secretive as well. See, a lot will be dependent on the kind of dasha you're going through next year. Now let's say for example, if you're going through the Mars Mahadasha or the Rahu Mahadasha, then it can make you prone and vulnerable towards some sort of underhanded activities or some sort of unusual, sudden, scandalous kind of energies or events. So if that is not getting qualified in your case, then I would say that this could be a year of investing in the alternative currencies, going deeper within your belief. And like many times what happens is that you cannot come to any conclusion, you cannot even grow in your faith till the time you do not have this habit or notion of questioning the existing status quo. I still remember Socrates and Chanakya, and there have been many great philosophers. When people and the world ask them the reason of their strong command and grip over wisdom, they said this thing that just keep on questioning and you will be revealed the information, and you will be able to get your deeper get to the deeper side of all these encrypted and esoteric wisdom. So that is the only thing which I want to recommend to the Virgo Lagna people in the matters of the inheritance, wills, joint resources. Yeah, that is one area where you have to remain very cautious, very careful, because this is a kind of a typical combination. If I were to say in terms of all across the globe, people who have been accused of tax evasion, money laundering, or some sort of secretive accounts in offshore accounts, this is a typical yoga which gives rise to these kind of engagements and actions. So in the matters of the joint resources, you have to remain very cautious, very careful. Your moral compass has to be very high next year. The toxic influence and the vices of the society community might try to negatively influence you. And guys, I want to be very honest, because I keep on coming across so many consultations as well, where the young kids, they are going through the Rahu period and their moon is afflicted because of the aspect or because of the conjunction with Rahu. It is placed in the 8th house, in the 12th house, and they are just too much involved in alcohol, intoxicants, drugs, even sex, that too at a very young age. So in those kind of circumstances, and if you have a Virgo Lagna, then this could be a triggering factor for you. So that is the only reason you have to do the remedies specifically of the Jupiter next year. If Jupiter is active in the Dasha, then it becomes very important. And I would say for people connected with the fields of research, exploration, any of the overseas interest, in your case, you can definitely get benefited with this kind of influence coming in the matters of your 8th house. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 9th house. So definitely guys, Venus is not in a bad dignity next year. I would say that the matters of luck will definitely support you. This is how I'm seeing the overall planetary influence in the matters of your 9th house. Second thing is that guys, just in the months of August and September, when your 9th house lord is going to be retrograde in the 11th house and the 12th house. So Venus going back and forth. During that time, you have to remain very cautious. Now again, this could be a blessed time for you if you are planning to migrate pertaining to your education to a overseas land or a foreign land. Then you can actually get benefited. But I would say friends, during this year, you have to remain very firm in your religious austerities. That will be all time important, because we might be separately, individually looking at your 9th house, but the significator of fortune, of religion, is the planet Jupiter, which is going to be coming in influence of Rahu in your 8th house. So I would say that if you get a chance, like apart from giving attention towards your your faith, your belief, the kind of mentors and the kind of guidance you are receiving, if you get time, making some religious and religious travels like pilgrimages will also prove to be very fruitful, very kind of elevating for a lot many Virgo Lagna people. So I would say guys that there could be some foreign travels, long distance travel as well. I have already mentioned this thing pertaining to the matters of the overseas exposure, overseas influence in your life. That is coming out to be very beneficial. But stand alone and individually looking at the 9th house, I would recommend that keep your faith aspect or the account of your religious merit also well replenished next year, because you will be needing it. Now guys, looking at the matters of your 10th house. Now in your case, your 10th house and your ascendant, they both are interconnected with each other. So the beautiful aspect is that only if Mercury is going to be well placed in your case, so not only your individuality but also your actions will also be well divine protected. So now guys, if you will look at the whole transit of your 10th house lord during this year, so like Mercury barring 2 months, like the month of January when your 10th house lord is going to be retrograde in your 4th house, and the month of May when your 10th house lord and the ascendant lord is going to be retrograde in the 8th house in the influence of Rahu, that too transiting in an enemy sign. Those could be the 2 months of vulnerability. But apart from that, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable. Regarding your professional endeavors, next year is creating a very positive energy, because friends, as I have already explained, your 6th house is going to be all time empowered, and 8th house influence could be working out in your favor only if you are connected with the fields of technology, research, innovation. So I would say that pertaining to the matters of your 10th house, it's only the 2 months of January and May when you have to remain very cautious. Now this could be the kind of direction your actions are taking you, your public image, your relationship with your bosses. So just 2 months you have to remain cautious, but apart from that, the rest of the planetary overall influence is going to be benefiting you, and a lot many Virgo Lagna people, basis the hard work you will be putting in, can also be considered for a new role and for the attainment of authority and power. Next year's energy is coming out very favorable. The only thing is that the path towards the power might be filled with lot of scandals, lot of opposition, but if you are working hard, you have got supporting dasha and yogas in your chart, so you can actually make it big to the position of power next year. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 11th house. Now guys, the beautiful aspect is that finally Saturn has come out of the 5th house and it has transited to your 6th house. So your 11th house will stop receiving the straight aspect of the planet Saturn. Because guys, what happens is that whenever Saturn is aspecting the Cancer sign or it is conjunct with Moon in the chart, it increases the pressure and stress pertaining to the matters of that house. So I'm not sure that how many Virgo Lagna people felt this in the past 2.5 years, that your answerability, responsibility towards your friends have suddenly increased. Your friends have in the past 2.5 years have started judging you a lot. So now all of those like confusion and burden of responsibility on the account of your social interaction will come down. So that can be seen as a very good sign. Second thing is that guys, see, pertaining to the matters of your 11th house, there's not much of the vulnerability which is coming over here. And just because Jupiter and Saturn, they are in any way, they are not transiting in any of the water sign during this year. So I'm not seeing you guys any prone, any vulnerable. Like rather I would say that because guys, 5th house has to do with our mental aptitude and 11th house has to do with our wishes. So I'm very much sure that in the past 2.5 years, you might have been going back and forth in your plans. Shall I execute it? Or no, I don't have the necessary support for it, I don't have a necessary skill set for it or funding for it. So I can say that if you have been in this situation in the past 2.5 years, in the year of 2023, you will definitely find a relief, and while executing and working on any of your plans, any of your goals, you will find this free hold and which will definitely benefit you. So this is all what I want to say pertaining to the matters of your 11th house. And definitely guys, because Saturn in general is going to be transiting in the Aquarius sign, which has to do with the philanthropic actions. The whole vibration of next year, if you will make a sum total of 2023, that will give you the number 7, a number of Ketu. So I would say that definitely pertaining to the matters of your 11th house or anything to do with the social interaction, group influence, I would say next year will definitely prove to be very fruitful, where the kind of connections you have, you will be able to make use of them in the path of your success as well. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 12th house, this house and this sign is actually receiving some additional weightage and additional spotlight next year. Because guys, in the transit, whenever two big planets like Jupiter and Saturn, whenever they aspect any specific sign, so the possibility of attaining success in the matters of that house tend to go very high. So just because Saturn will be aspecting your 12th house from the 6th house, which has got a lot to do with the hard work, and Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 12th house from the 8th house, which has to do with giving some sudden financial results as well. So I would say that in any ways, if your life hovers around the 12th house related matters, Or let's say, for example, if you are also going through the Mahadasha of Sun or Antardasha of the Sun, then you can definitely get benefited. This two aspect coming and influencing your 12th house can be seen as a blessing in disguise. Now guys, I just want to be very honest, because Sun is going to be following the fixed same pattern in its monthly transits. So from April 15th till the May 15th, you have to remain very cautious when Sun is going to be transiting in your 8th house, because Sun getting exalted in the transit can be a very good sign for a lot many people, but during this year it is going to be getting exalted, that too in the influence of Rahu and Jupiter in your 8th house. So if your actions and your yogas in your chart does not make you prone or vulnerable towards defamation, any sort of entanglement in scandals, then you do not have to worry about that. It can actually give you some sudden unpredictable windfall of gain as well, some sudden recognition as well. But if your chart is afflicted and very much prone towards allegations, scandals, then that is going to be a month when you have to remain cautious. But overall friends, anything to do with the overseas investments, overseas settlement, pilgrimages, this combined influence on your 12th house will actually benefit a lot many Virgo Lagna next year. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this yearly predictions for the Virgo Lagna people. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. धन्यवाद.